Arkansas Motor Vehicle Commission. June
Recording in progress.
26th. So in that we're being recorded and we have nice visitors with us today. We're gonna go around the room and tell who's here. I'm Joy Rockington, Chairman of our Motor Vehicle Commission. I'm from Pine Bluff.
Michael Johnson from Russellville, Gerald Saber, Fordyce, Scott Wood, Batesville, Jimmy Jones, Ranch County, Michael White, Conway,
John, am I next? John Chantry, Little Rock.
I'm Burton guy out of Little Rock, representing, Mr. Gentry, principal.
Thank you for being here.
John, we'll investigate with.
I would be acting as the hearing officer today for the hearing we have later.
Aaron Lowry, Attorney General's Office. Daniel Bates, Director of the Motor Vehicle Commission.
Margie Stacy, investigator. Kim Armstrong, senior investigator for the Arkansas Attorney General's Office.
Sydney Sexton for the Arkansas Attorney General's Office.
Jake Lynlock, Arkansas Attorney General's Office.
Bobby Johnson, Russellville. I work with them now. I'd like to be supervisor with AMBC.
You're behind me. See us. Look their faces or was
Michael, I'm gonna come sit by you.
he won't bite down there where you're from. Well, thank you all for being here today. I think we have a full agenda. So I think we will, in a reminder, we're not gonna meet in July. It'll be on your thing, but not meeting in July, but it was very busy and it's busy for several of us. So we, not. Oh, that's fine. We'll talk about that at the end. So I will entertain a motion for approval of the meeting minutes for May the 20th, 2026.
Michael Johnson, motion to approve. Gerald Saber, second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes for May 20th, 2026. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. So we are now down to the director's report and we'll turn this over to Daniel.
And financial revenue. So we are at the end of fiscal year 2026. June 30th will be the very end, but we're pretty close to that at this point. Your first report there is going to be our yearly revenue deposit list. That's just a macro level view of all revenue taken in over the course of the entire fiscal year. So we're setting at 425, 182.78 as of today. That'll go up by around $1,000 later this week. We'll do our deposit. We've got a little bit more in there, so we'll be setting a little over 426 at that point. And by the end of fiscal year, I think we'll be right there, close to that 429 number that we were at last year. And again, as I said last time, this is with us taking in less than penalty. So we've actually replaced that amount with license. So that's, we're still going to.
It's all kind of even out.
It's all kind of even out.
Okay. That's awesome. Greg, welcome.
Thank you, Greg.
Greg, okay.
And then
You on, you'll have to turn your.
turn to the next page. So the next two reports there, your trial balance reports. So remember, you see that account number 403 200 1000. That is our late fees and penalties GL code account number. So that's going to be all the penalties we've collected to date so far on the year. Got that 19,950 number in revenue, and then the 403 302 7000 number is all of our license and permit fees for the year. You got the total down there at the bottom. So collectively, that's all of our revenue for the year. We'll see later on when we get to the late fee report that we've actually collected all the late fees on. But the next report is going to give you the entire year Service Bureau reports, months 1 through 12. We're not all the way through June yet, but we're halfway through June. So this is accurate numbers up to date. Now, I will note on this report, it's got all the detailed breakdowns of within the 1.5% revenue. You'll see for June, that's not calculated yet because they don't do that for the month. But if you get down at the very bottom of this first page, that's going to show you our cash investments ending balance, starting year, end of year. So the very top left corner is the start of the year, the very bottom right corner in that pink orange shade is where we're at right now. And again, you can go up 4 lines, we'll see that transfer there, the 250. So that is the grant warrants and funds that went out this week. That's transferring out of this fund, going into the grant fund, and they paid out of that. So that number at the very bottom right corner where we're at is accounting for the 250,000 grant funds that we paid out. Well, so that is accurate. That's where we're at. And those were sent out earlier this week, and Marty will be calling them later today and let them know that money to go to goal programs. Right. The next few pages again are just a detailed breakdown of all expenditures for the year, giving you every possible expenditure, including salaries, service matching. And then at the very bottom, you have all of our operating expenditures for the year. Nothing surprising there beyond normal things for this month. I'll call your attention to August of this year where we had that software license fee. That's our RLP license platform fee that comes out every year. So again, you'll see in August of 27, that will come out again. We'll pay that again. That's our annual fee for the licensing platform. Beyond that and the insurance, there shouldn't be any other big expenditures unless we need to buy new computers for Margie and myself. John and Alexis have new purposes, but we do have that in the IT plan budget for next year.
Saying that the budget.
It's in the budget. Yeah, if we need to buy.
I would think the commissioner would say, we need them, but we have the budget to do that.
I'll let you know.
Computers, because
Yeah.
every year.
I'll let you know.
Okay. Tell them, we don't have to vote on it.
Okay.
We're ready to do that.
Yeah.
It's in the budget.
So the next 2 reports are just gonna be your macro level revenue and expenditure summary. That's just a more detailed breakdown now. The expenditure summary here, you'll see, we're in the final month and we still have remaining appropriation for salaries, personal service matching, operating expenses. All of that stuff, we still have plenty left over. We're not gonna have any issues going this year. So that's generally the same way every year. We're not anticipating next year having issues with that. So, and then your last revenue expenditure report here is the one that Alexis puts together for us. Just a breakdown of all license types for the year by submission count and fee there. And again, I'll just remind you on that, it doesn't count resubmissions, it's just the first submission. So. But other than that, that's your detailed revenue summary for here. We're in good shape. And we're about to go into new fiscal year, July, as I told you, is our busy time because that's manufacturing distributor renewal, which also, if you look at that first month of July of last year, we collected most revenue. That's where we get all those manufacturing distributors. We're really busy. So thank you for allowing us.
Oh, it's good for everybody. I think somebody's going somewhere and wants some, but it's really better July. I have to say, we'll always do that, but it's a good time to do that, and especially unless there's something like that, people will do it. But I don't think everything's smooth and going well, so we'll all enjoy it. All right, well, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of Daniel's report for the revenue expenditures.
Scott Wood, I move to approve the financial reports.
Thank you, Scott.
Jimmy Jones, second.
Second, made and second to approve the revenue expenditure reports with your faces. Add that in. Thank you very much. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Let's make sure you put that in minutes. She's looking at next.
Definitely. We all think that. Because a lot of this day and age, that's hard. Okay, on to the new license framework.
Now, as I'm sure you all have seen at this point, there are a lot of new license worksheets in here since last time, and most of them are Tractor Supply. So I'm gonna do everyone a favor and not go through every single Tractor Supply. I think you all can see those, and generally speaking, as I told you before, we're gonna license every Tractor Supply in the state at some point. We're well on our way. Alexis, what are we up to now? I think we're close to 30, right? You gotta be close, 30 students. I think we're pretty close. After all, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I think that's it. 18, 19, 20, 21. So 21 new Tractor Supply licenses since last week.
There are 42 stores in the state and 31 locations that are licensed.
Okay. And you'll notice if you look at some of those, it's the same products every time. Now, some of them don't have all of them, but it's generally Champion Motorsports, High Sun, and Massimo occasionally, and then Sunrise, which is the Bighorn UTVs. So it's the same company so far pretty much every time. The only ones we have approved at this point are ones that Alexis and I are still working on. Some of the details of the service providers and the potential market area issues with some of these folks. There's not very many, but there are working through Alexis is working on. So the other ones besides Tractor Supply are Dodge vehicles, which you guys will be familiar with. They did get a manufacturer license in our request. They are officially licensed now, so LSVs forward up. Audi of America now has a sole distributor license. They were under Volkswagen Group's license for a long time because of the way they did the distribution, but recently, Lexus, correct me if I'm wrong, they formed their own company for Audi, right? So Audi is now going to be separate and have their own distributor license from Volkswagen in our system. So now they have 2 separate licenses. And then we go through some of the Tractor Supplies. Very towards that. Yes, so Art Marine Sports, that's in plastic. That is actually, Mr. Gentry's here today. That's their store in Little Rock. And they're going to be selling Kaio and Ios back to Lexus right now. I believe that's what they're selling there. That's correct. And they're also going to be moving their Honda store to that location here pretty soon as well. So, and then beyond that, the next page, David's Fire Equipment. So, we licensed David's Fire Equipment recently. Now, this is kind of an interesting one. Margie and John, I think you guys discovered them. Looked at their website, maybe Alexis helped. But they sell Sunrite UTVs, and we kind of discovered they were selling them. This guy sells Sunrite UTVs, but he modifies them with fire equipment and accessories, but still have no license to sell the UTVs. So we went and talked to him about that, and he was very amenable and just went ahead and got the license. So he's good to go now. Shouldn't have any more issues with him. And I don't think I missed any, right, Alexis? John and Tractor Supply, I think that's pretty much everything. So that is all the new licenses since last time. Good number. Does anybody have any questions about those before I go to the next one? Okay. Ryder Motor Company submitted an off-premise display request for the King Tomato Festival in Warren. They do this every year. Kylie submitted that to us. We signed off on it. It's within their relevant market area, so no issues there. And I think they display maybe 1 or 2 vehicles at this thing, but they participate in it every year. I think they're a sponsor. So in downtown Warren. That is. And then the last part here is our renewals list. So Alexis has condensed this down to the remaining dealers that have not renewed for one reason or another. And I'll let her kind of go through just some of these real quick to give you an overview of what the deal is. I know some of these Alexis are surrendering and some we're still got to figure out. One of them I see in the queue, but I'll let Alexis kind of explain where we're at on these.
So most of these, if you see them and they have purple, we're steadily working on them. They pretty much everybody on the list that Margie has called for me. If she hasn't for some reason been able to get in contact with them, I believe her and John are doing investigations. To see if they're still operating. Um,
believe we're to the point with some of these in purple, especially that Margie and John have been making a list of ones they're gonna have to go visit and figure out, are they still open? What's the deal? Because they won't call us back, they won't email us, we don't know what's going on, so we're just gonna have to go look and see. So they're gonna provide those in. Go ahead.
and then I just think you have a few left boards, all of the purples are ones that just pretty much need to be resubmitted. For the most part. To us, it's not really that many left, as you guys can see. As you know, that page is, when I printed it the other time, it's maybe 9 pages long. So we don't have that many. And they mostly we've been in contact with them. There's a few people that are missing just like insurance or bond updates, and we're certain they have it. They're just, it's specific form we asked for, so if they don't have that form, it's just us trying to get it.
Then the last page, as I referenced earlier, is our constituent invoices. So this is all of the late fees and penalty invoices we've issued on the year. You will notice down at the very bottom, the invoice amount and the invoice amount paid matches. So through Alexis and Marty's hard work, we have gotten payment of all late fees and penalty invoices for the year. We have collected everything we needed to collect for this month.
That's wonderful.
I'm gonna need to get you over that.
People.
And like,
Next.
and on that last page, those non-approved licenses, if they're on that page, they most likely have late fees, so there'll be more people added to this list. So just assume that
Yes,
all of those have at least a month of.
yes. And we'll probably be adding a new penalty list to this list pretty soon. But that concludes the licensing. Joy. I will also say there's nothing beats good hard work of Margie and Alexis just calling people, because you know, we can email them, send them letters all we want, but really the best way to do it, pay. The best way to get them paid is just keep calling them until they pay it. So
Like, terminate those things. Don't look bad. That's great. Thank you for that great report on that also. We're down to the investigation summary.
oh, can I say one more thing about last?
Sure, right?
I meant to mention this earlier when we were talking about Travis Supply. We did this past week finally get 9 applications from lawyers to
Oh,
license. Yeah, so they've started the process. They have 21 in the state. I understand in the council, they're probably gonna license all of them eventually. But right now they're just selling one product. Right, Alexis, that's all I've seen on the High Sun. ATVs and TVs, that's all they have. So.
It's possible that the reason we only have 9 so far is because, as you saw, Tractor Supply has one of the highest dealers, so.
So we'll see how that gets worked out.
Yeah.
But, they did find it. Wow. We didn't expect it to, they have someone, so.
Are we doing anything to follow up on their service centers?
We are, John and Margie have, you know, looked into that when they can. I know we, Alexis had to get John to make some calls about one in, what was it, Van Buren? We weren't sure about, but we got our state police grants to give us that order. So, yeah, we do when we need to. And the rule that was approved, the final approval, that it's going to help going forward with that. But, yes, there's no question, for sure. And I anticipate there will be some that we'll have to send John and Margie out to see if the people are actually there, unfortunately. But for the most part, with Tractor Supply, they've submitted people that are licensed by us, or that are actually they use Cargill or somebody that is. So, again, we don't license them. So sorry, can just verify that. Pretty soon we'll have to. That's the last. Miss Margie and John, investigation reports, y'all wanna, I think for the purpose of this, I think what we talked about previously is we wanna talk about advertising, right? That's what y'all supposed to.
Yeah, it looked like really for that ever, that Greer is heading for this.
So I'll turn it over to John and Margie for Vince, let them talk about what they've been seeing with advertising issues specifically.
Well, Margie and I have been spending hours on the phone with various dealers over advertising issues. What we're seeing is a lot of residency restrictions that are being applied deducted from the SRP, which according to Rule 3, your advertised price has to be available to every consumer. And a lot of these dealers now are operating under restrictions from the manufacturers. It says if you live in zip code A, B, C, and D, well, then you get this discount. But they're advertising it to everybody. That's not a true price. So we're having to work with several of the dealers to try to get them into compliance. The last dealer we called was having an issue with the manufacturer wanting to know why. Simply told that it was have to explain it. Send a copy of Rule 3 to make sure that everybody's on board. We're also seeing some stuff where the advertised price is contingent on financing. Bring your own financing, pay a different price. Use their financing, well, then you get the advertised price. If you don't, you pay cash, well, then you're paying a higher price. It's not just with auto dealers, we're seeing it with some power sports dealers also. And so Margie and I have been spending hours and hours on the phone trying to get everybody into compliance. I think I told y'all before, when Margie and I talked to these dealers, we go in with the idea of, hey, let's get these people into compliance. We'll push everything else down the road. Let's work with everybody, make sure everybody's on the same page, educate them. That's what has to be done. And if it's a chronic problem and it continues, well, then we'll go down another road. We try to treat everybody with dignity and respect and make sure that you're in compliance so that nobody gets their people service.
I'm gonna kind of call on Greg. Didn't we get a little training session on time on it? Remember when we did a little training?
Yeah, we actually do.
Is that really worth it? Or, I mean, to keep them from having to, they shouldn't have to. Oh, they're.
We did it so long ago, there wasn't a thing called a webinar. So it's been a while. I think there may be, well, I am too. I think there may be some better options.
I'm just calling you because of that.
Sure. So part of this, and I want to add a little context for those that might not be familiar with the auto world. The federal, when we had administrative change in the presidency, I will probably say, and Scott, and correct me if I'm describing this wrong, I think there was a general sense that some of the federal guidelines and restrictions that Federal Trade Commission, Consumer Protection Bureau, and all these different federal agencies were putting on dealers were all of a sudden no longer a thing to worry about. And that was true for about 18 months. And then a couple of months ago, it appears to have been really pushed through the public companies who started to basically tell on one another for this issue. And the Federal Trade Commission was continuing to get complaints on this exact issue. Prices being advertised at thousands of dollars below the price that is actually available to everyone. Arkansas, by the way, is not as big of a problem state. Most of you get to Florida and some of these other states, it's astounding the amount of the discount, the price variation. Anyway, the Federal Trade Commission sent out letters threatening 93 dealer groups, and it ended up being several thousand dealerships that they were going to take action at the federal level if some of these compliance issues weren't addressed. I've talked to the state, and that's kind of where part of this, I think, motivation is coming from. So dealers need to be reminded. Arkansas law tracks with what the feds are telling dealers the expectation at the federal level is. It's our Rule 3 expectation. Point being, if you comply with Rule 3 in Arkansas, you're going to comply with the federal guidelines. now would be the perfect time if the commission, and we would be happy to work with you all. If maybe a webinar or something, I think that would actually be highly attended.
Yeah, I'm
Would
not
probably
saying be
be-
there, but a webinar.
Yeah. But yes, we actually put together a kind of a traveling road show where we went across the state. We met, we had a packet that we put together, and it was one of the more attended things we ever done.
I
And
agree.
it was really, it was back in the days of newspapers and your,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and what I told John, it's often you're hearing from dealers, well, they're doing it, and when they stop doing it, I'll stop doing it.
Exactly.
But at some point, you've got to just kind of address it head on, and I think, you know, it never would hurt to put together some sort of training session. And it would be fairly easy with the technology.
I agree. Yeah, I'm just saying that, but I think they're going through a lot of time,
Yeah.
that our time having to deal with it.
We actually also used it as a tool that regulation serves. If a dealer sent somebody or participated, that did give you a little bit more, they use the phrasing grace on the offense, but if you were putting out an effort and maybe you had an inadvertent advertising issue, and then comparatively, if you never showed up, didn't bother to send anyone, then there wasn't a lot of
Exactly, we are having
Concern.
to find with the manager or somebody in this day or what.
Yeah.
Needs to be part of their job.
This is a big.
Now, what do y'all think? That's me saying this, so,
I think that would be a great idea. This has been a big issue for our space also.
okay, I'm saying.
Not necessarily so much on the finance side, although that's been some of it,
Right.
but, with dealerships advertising a price to a consumer. And then, but that price doesn't include the freight on it or the dealer credit line. And by the time the consumer gets ready to leave, the price that's advertised is $4,000, what they're paying is $4,000.
Exactly.
We have a huge issue.
We see that,
Same
we
thing.
see that issue with us.
Yes.
That's,
Yeah, I've seen that issue shopping for RVs. You get on a website, especially if it's somebody that's not in our state. And there's a price. And when you read your fine print, you if you're out, that you're gonna, like you said, add thousands of dollars to it. But in the automobile business, one thing that has impacted us as a group is the factory has kind of mandated that they be involved in the rebate structure. And for instance, some of these zip code eligible rebates, if the dealer is in that zip code, the factory's in control of the website to the extent that they'll put those rebates in as available. So there's some of it's out of the dealer's control, and you have to call and get them to stop it. But I think the seminar or webinar, whatever you're going to do, I think that's a great idea.
What
And I
about
think we have a lot of hot voting participation, because it's.
We could almost say,
It's a great.
somebody has to be there to listen to it, I mean, be part of this. Make them, but,
I think.
I would be very
it's a good time
supportive
to
of
do
it, help promote it, now's the time to do it.
Okay.
It is a major problem across every industry.
well, and I want to compliment Greg, because I saw the notice that he put out in the publication that all dealers about advertising.
We have regional meetings, end of April and first week of March, and this was one of the hotter topics, and I kind of went through it. And it really is, now's the time for the commission, probably.
And I'll,
that, but we don't know after. All.
yeah, sure.
I mean,
I think it's,
so I feel.
and, you know, very,
Right.
very,
And we can, right, we can promote it and then help with RV, I mean, somehow, all of us can.
absolutely.
Okay.
It would be a wiser use of Margie and Johnson.
Well, that's my, that's a better way to say it.
Do a webinar and
Yes,
explain to dealers, and you might have to do more than one.
Yes.
To give dealers an opportunity if they have a conflict. But,
I think
be
we
a lot
need to do
better
more.
use of commission's time to do that than have to do the police work after the fact.
Right. So we've been kind of saved, you know, some of these advertising rules and things that go on, we really didn't have, but all of a sudden now this happened,
Well-
and I feel like
through the COVID years, pricing wasn't an issue. People were advertising higher prices, people were paying higher prices.
Exactly.
But it's returned to pre-COVID years, pricing wise.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Wild West out there again.
Well, and since Greg brought up the FTC thing, I did review the letters, I did get access to that list at some point. And if you look through our complaint list that you have in front of you, you'll notice we did open the formal complaint with Superior Auto Group. And Aaron and I, Marty and John are gonna be probably sending them a letter at some point to try to address some of the advertising issues they have just across the board. Because that's kind of where we're at with them. John, you guys have been working with them for how long now to try to get there?
Well, at least the last 2 years.
So it's just been an ongoing thing with them, so I kind of feel like that's where we're at here, and we're gonna try to address it with a formal letter. Again, nothing to bring to the commission yet, anything like that, but it's serious enough that we're just gonna have to go through point by point and address their issues, and I'm sure Greg has seen it. They were the only Arkansas auto group, I think, that got a letter from the FTC. So, and it's about the same stuff we were just talking about, basically. So we are going to be addressing hopes of correcting some of the competition and nothing to look at yet, but that is one specifically that we're doing at all.
And Greg will work with you.
Yeah, please.
We'll get through the time that you won't be.
One thing I do want to add, because it's a critical part, because it's an excuse dealerships are using right now, and it's the third-party vendors they've contracted with that are aggregating sources and advertising across state lines, certainly across their trade area lines. And the goal for the marketers is to get the price as low as possible, so that's the first thing they see. That's a lot of that third party has driven this. The FTC's made it very clear. We don't care if it's the third party doing it, the dealer is the one that's going to be paying the fine. And that's how our position's always been, our mission has always been, we don't care if your marketing company did made the mistake on the price. It's your dealership, it's your license. And I think, once dealers are, and by the way, dealers can get that third party marketing company to fix this, but I'm sure you've heard as an excuse. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I mean, I've heard 2 days, I've heard a month, and I kind of tend to believe the 2 day more. So it's just some of it's making it clear this is the expectation for the commission. And I care because I would rather the Arkansas Motor Vehicle Commission deal with this than the Federal Trade Commission. Because if they go after Arkansas dealer, one thing, the fine is going to be way more substantial. It's going to be way more high profile, and it's going to be much more clumsily led than this group that really knows what's going on.
The complaints you're getting, are they from consumer or another dealer pointing it out? Both.
But lately, yes, we've gotten a lot more people on the other side, which is kind of what Greg is, what we consider it to be. So.
Well, we all need to work in and get this kind of.
And I think the dealers know, but if the other commissioners don't know. So our statute actually allows dealers to file anonymous advertising.
All right, thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
We'll work with you to get that done. All right. Margie, do you all have any more you want to say? You're gonna do that pretty well. Okay. Well, that's ongoing. A lot. It's always there, any our commissioners have any, after looking at this, anything to add or ask? Okay, consumer assistance, report, and I'll do that.
Yeah,
Let's throw all that in.
I'll tell you on those, we're up to 22 formal complaints over the year and 67. 69, sorry. 69 home planes and 22 home planes. So,
Okay. Now, here's one.
to the lead.
Okay, yeah, just a few, there's not, the first one on the agenda is Arkansas Yamaha versus Yamaha Motor Corporation. With this one, if you remember, there was an existing Yamaha dealer that protested the proposed relocation of a new, Yamaha dealership in its relevant market area. We had set this for a hearing, and I think last month, commission continued the hearing to a later date. You can see there's two letters in the binder here. Coming from Yamaha asking to dismiss this because the manufacturer Yamaha had withdrawn its proposed relocation request. And that letter is the next one, showing that Yamaha did in fact say something saying that they decided to withdraw the proposed relocation and that they agree with the dismissal. And so that's what they decided at this point. But it looks like both parties have agreed to dismiss this relocation.
Would y'all like to,
I mean, they bad.
y'all want to answer this?
I'm working with Young, I'm the attorney for
Alright.
our Deputy Springmore, and yes, after discussions with council and we exchanged discovery, they decided that this was not gonna go through with request for relocation, which we agreed. We didn't think it was very fair to the general level population anyway, but it looked like both parties were gonna be spending a whole lot of money on it. And, I think the conclusion was that Yamaha didn't want to, the manufacturer did not want to spend a lot of money in litigation. We were prepared to appeal, litigate, whatever we needed to do. It was a fundamental encroachment on the market, really, Arkansas Yamaha, directly, impact their bottom line and particularly impact multi-million-dollar expansions that they were doing, that were already in the works and they were created. As a consequence of which, manufacturer agreed with my office and Mr. Jeffrey's office to curtail that application and dismiss the action, which we are in total agreement with.
I think clear. Michael Johnson, motion to approve. 0 second.
Then the move is second to approve the formal request. To this, that's I said from Wayne. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, at this point in time, Mr. Jeffrey and I be excused.
You manage, I was gonna tell you, y'all don't wanna hang.
I would love to sit here.
I'm sure you.
Thank you very much for.
It is interesting.
Oh, it's always interesting.
Mr. Jeffrey wants to be back to work.
I gotta go sell boats and ATVs.
Like all these years, I appreciate that, all of y'all.
Thank you. You'll see us again on our application for the new location.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
Okay, looking forward.
Thank you so much for welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
So much.
Appreciate it, John. Thank you.
Uh-oh. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, that's it.
Excuse me, Paul.
That's it, that's it.
You got,
Oh,
you got.
that is it's hard. Okay, Aaron, on that.
Okay, next on the agenda is, Arkansas Motor Vehicle Sherwood Tractor. If y'all will remember, last month Sherwood Tractor had, signed a consent agreement, which was approved, by the board. Last month, 2 months ago, there was some, inappropriate dealer advertising going back to, I believe, 2023. It was accepted by the commission and there was a fine that was outstanding, but you can see there the binder, the $1,000 fine was received by the commission, and so this should be the end of this consent.
Mr. Sherwood did pay, and Marty and John are going to be monitoring, making sure that he gets all this advertising updated to comport with the terms of consent. So we will continue to follow up on that, but he did pay down penalty, which you guys talked about, so he's paid in full on that. So that's what you're saying, right? If you did. Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, last on the agenda for legal updates is gonna be Arkansas Motor Vehicle Commission versus Lone Star Golf. If you remember, with some discussion that Lone Star Golf was selling Dodge vehicles. Dodge was not licensed in Arkansas. Lone Star was not licensed in Arkansas. The investigators had gone out several times asking Lone Star to get licensed or remove the vehicles, which they did remove and then immediately put back. Consent agreement was sent to Lone Star and they basically questioned the commission's definition of a motor vehicle and a low speed vehicle. And so we brought that to the commission last month. They rejected the consent agreement based on that. The commission asked to send a new letter, which is there in your packet, is a copy of the letter. Basically, it's just telling them that Arkansas statutes are what define low speed vehicles, not the manufacturer who told them it's okay to sell in Arkansas. So we sent the consent agreement back exactly as it was with this letter explaining the statutes. Lone Star did respond, and basically the response was, we need a little bit more time so that we can review this. They wanted to contact Dodge Manufacturing for some reason, but they're looking at it and they're going to consider the consent agreement. So I haven't heard anything else back.
I have a question. Yes, sir. How much vary does Dodge's request for manufacturer's license have at this Lone Star situation?
Well, Lone Star's initial response was Josh said that they don't need a license and we don't need a license, and now Josh has a license. So that kind of submarine there.
Dodge has a license as a manufacturer to sell the exact units that Lone Star is currently still has in its advertising. They were trying to say we're not.
They have other dealers in the state now, stock.
They want to, but no, they don't. We haven't gotten any updated agreements yet. Have we, Alexis? I don't think so. So, and as you see in the letter, I explained to them that, we're happy to, as long as you agree with this consent agreement, made it fine. We're happy to add Dodge to the license manufacturer. But yeah, the only response that Aaron and I have gotten so far is basically an email from the CFO saying they will take the letter consent agreement under advisement to talk to the manufacturer, which they're welcome to do that. What else the manufacturer can tell other than we need to get a license? Add this to your license.
It's pretty easy.
Manufacturer sent it to us.
And additionally, on top of that, the manufacturer is in communication with us for almost 2 years about being a license. Like they've known for a long time.
But we'll let you know once we have an actual consent agreement back signed from them. I would hope they would just do that. But if they don't, then Aaron and I'll probably come back to you and talk about it here, because I mean I'll be honest, they're completely in the wrong, and we're not going to start that sign. So they can either sign the consent agreement or we'll do something else.
My brother-in-law lives in Tennessee. He bought one for him, Dodge, those big vehicles, over there, and it's a fine piece of equipment. They're just nice as golf carts.
Well, and that is how Lone Star's advertised as LSPs. That is what Dodge says they are. So I don't really understand.
Yeah, it says it.
They're put that by this point.
But we will let you know when we have an actual document.
Under the action discussion items. So y'all have read, we got a little furniture problem.
So this has been going on for how long?
2 years.
2 years. Marty and John have been to this furniture store how many times?
6 times.
6 times. Furniture stores in Forest City. I'm gonna turn it over to John Margie to give you the full report, but we have been dealing with this problem for 2 years. We have bent over backwards to try to get these people in compliance and not have to do anything extra. And we thought they had complied, but it turns out, as you can see in the pictures and the clear signage of advertising the ATV for sale. And I think there are 3 different brands there, Hitachi, Tao, and Supermarket, which we license all 3 in the state. I don't know for sure, but I expect that they're getting these from the Memphis area, from some warehouse over there, but they're brand new. And, one of our licensed dealers reported them to us, so of course we have to look into it. And, I'll turn it over to Mark and John, but long story short, it's a furniture store that does have a license that's selling regulated ATVs to the public, and they're, not being subtle about it. So they're, as you can see, in the furniture store on clear display. So, Mark and John, you want to explain to the commissioners what we found here or what you discovered in terms of ownership, that sort of thing?
Sure. Well, we first encountered this place, leading to December of 2024. Marge and I had gone over to West Memphis area for unrelated, and we had stopped at a local power sports dealer, and that's how we got the information that they were selling TVs and stuff at their first store. So we went over there, and sure enough, they had them outside. In fact, we got out at there, and there's somebody trying to buy them there. So we talked to the guys there, and we ended up making another trip back this spring and presented them with the licensing statutes, Rule 5, Rule 4, because they're a furniture store, there's no way that they could be in compliance. We explained to them that they couldn't sell there because of the facilities restrictions, and kind of left at that. And for a while, they did away with it. Margie had gone over there to another.
Margie's looking for that pink chair. Right there.
Then she checked and they didn't have any outside. Then we developed information from another dealer here that they were selling again, but they were keeping them in the store. Well, Margie and I went over there. Of course, there's all these furniture stores. They were closed on Wednesday.
Naturally.
That was a waste of time. And anyway, when we went back, was it 2 weeks ago? I think.
Yes, 2 weeks ago.
We walked in there. Nobody paid any attention to us. Kind of dressed down undercover folks, and we walked in there. And sure enough, they were there. We were able to get pictures, and you could see that the sign that they had here that clearly shows they're selling and the sales price for each particular item they're selling. And so we took our pictures, walked out the store, nobody paid any attention to us.
Nobody even came to offer.
Nobody even offered assistance. Like I said, they had been told before, we gave them a file folder with all the information in it. If they wanted to move locations and get licensed, to provide that information to them. I think the second time went. Margie had to do some digging or find out who this particular place belongs to.
I contacted the fire department to see if they had done a fire inspection. And they did do a fire inspection at that location, but they said they don't keep the names of the owners, just the business. So then I said, and then John suggested, call Chamber of Commerce and see if they have a business license there. Well, they weren't open either. So then I know, of course, November Day, I think. So I called the circuit clerk's office and she said, oh, she said, you want this department? And she transferred me to a woman named Theresa May at Forest City Clerk's office. And she said, oh yeah, they have a license, but well, I don't know anything about furniture express deals. He said they go by, what is it, made for home or?
So.
Yeah.
Homemade easy.
Homemade,
Yeah,
thank
there's
you.
something here.
Yeah, that's the name of their, corporate name. And I'm like, what? So I did Secretary of State's office search after that, and then she provided me with an email that connects Homemade Easy to the furniture store with their physical address and their phone numbers. And, then I checked Secretary of State's office, and they are registered, as a.
County.
Yeah, we found the owner.
Right.
He lives in, West Marion.
Mary,
Yeah, Marion or West Helena, one of the two. That's where he lives, so yes, we've got to have furniture for less. Our
So,
furniture is for-
so the finding here is that these are clearly regulated vehicles. They're selling, we've told them this multiple times. We've been nice about it. And now they're still selling again. So we bring it to the commission to ask you what you want to do about this. We've handled situations like this before with consent agreements and trying to do that. Margie and John have found the owners, so we're telling you we have enough to send them a letter of consent agreement. If that's what you decide to do, or it's up to you, or you can post them for a hearing. And there's options, but that's your decision. But this is a clear violation. They're selling brand new ATVs, and again, I suspect they're even implement this summer. But they're selling to the public. They don't have a license. They can't get a license at their current location because it's in a purchase order. So.
It won't be a problem if they try to offer free match.
Bad mattress.
We just dealt with the situation with Mr. Holyfield Winery ATV and the purchase order.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be my question, what was our first course of action?
I think we said.
Well, no, our first course of action was we got him to get another location because he was licensed. It's a little bit different situation. He agreed to it.
Yeah.
And then he never followed through on it. So then tried to.
When we started going down the legal path, what was our first course of action?
I think we tried a consent agreement.
And said it could go to a hearing.
Yeah, but we eventually just had to get to a hearing.
And I feel like, well, that's a.
Well, now that we know who the owner is, communication.
Not yet, because we don't have a phone number per se, we just have his address, so really no communication with a letter, we didn't really want to do that until you guys decide how you want to approach this, because again, we have options, but it's a clear violation. I mean, there's no multiple violations. I mean, it's so long gone.
The owner should be aware.
They are aware.
This is order.
I move we send a letter, consent agreement, $1,000 back. You said? I say.
Then moved and seconded that we send the Furniture Express bill for a city consent agreement, and they found it $1,000.
It does, hopefully, so. Do we need to add to that, to time by which you must?
I believe
he can't.
Not at the current location.
But do we need to add any verbiage of either need to move this business or remove the product, or just so we can't do that anymore? $1,000 back.
Right, I think we can, Aaron, I can, whatever you want to add, I mean, I think, but you're correct, there needs to be something that says you got to cease and desist selling at this location.
I say we should know that location is acceptable to the commission. Something, I think that ought to be in there so that he knows he has an option. But I still believe that's in order, because they didn't solve it, about their operation. I'm not saying they should have taken any kind of part, sure, yeah. I'm not saying we should take it away. I agree, if he gets an alternate location.
we'll add that to the consent agreement letter.
Well, we can add it to the terms of consent agreement.
Right,
Aaron,
those terms, so we can put that in there.
we put it in there so that it has teeth.
Do I need to offer my motion to do that?
Yeah, you can have it.
Well, I'd like to amend my motion so it's specifically stated that, he needs to cease and desist or find an alternate location that's acceptable to the motor vehicle commission. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we're gonna second the amendment.
Yes, sir.
But on the agreement first, we're not gonna go all that formal Robert's rules. That is formal, but we'll just do it all in one motion if that's okay. Or y'all make me with the amendment.
Or
That's saying all that, all those, 5%. All those, same time. Motion carries.
something that individual hadn't thought about,
It's dangerous.
Consumer Safety Products Commission, you gotta have hang tags on there. Machine has it on there for the age limits on the machine, there's a hang tag also goes, has to be displayed. A few of these have it, a few of them don't.
Yeah, that one doesn't agree.
Going back to what Greg Kirkpatrick said, you get the federal people involved. We have secret shoppers that come in and make sure that we're in compliance. That look at the lines that I carry, if that's not on there. You don't bargain with those people. I mean, it's plain and simple. You get a bill and the manufacturer contacts you while you're not following this and you pay it. There's not any coming back saying that line's a little much, can you knock it down, can you sure this, can you do that? They're what it is, what it is.
I'm gonna ensure, yes, Mike, that Mr. Staten has no clue about the consumer product safety.
No, but some of those machines don't have the hang tags on them. And what the Motor Vehicles Commission tried to do is get in compliance with all, not necessarily have the tags, but the license. If he sold to underage child or one got hurt, it didn't have that on there, it's not expressed. You know, it could come back to the state saying, why were you allowing this?
Yeah.
Now, this happened here once.
I think this will be pretty, I mean, get this done by a certain date, it's not tight thing to me, but we'll work on this, see what you're doing.
Yeah, we can get it out pretty quick and we'll put a new response.
If I didn't come,
The guy with the headband, is he a salesman?
Oh, no, I understand. Those are the photos we got from the dealer, so, I think that's just the customer.
Oh, okay.
No, those were from the dealer. John Marty did not take them.
Okay.
Just to be clear.
this looks pretty.
They do have a Facebook page that they,
Yeah.
Margie got on there and
Oh,
saw
they do?
videos where they were advertising it. They were selling the furniture, but as the camera pans, you can see folders in the back.
That's what I captured was the forward.
That's, I agree. We don't want to do more, how this is it on that.
Once did you get all the motion?
Sorry.
Aaron and I will work on that, we'll get that out as soon as we can. Okay. Put a 10-day time frame on it. You respond within 10 days.
Good, that's what we did. All right. We're down to the voluntary license surrender agreement, and it's all listed in your.
Yes, ma'am, we have 6 different BLSA therapy insurance licenses. One of those, I'll see at the bottom there, very end of the company, they were declared a deal with Stuttgart. They're surrendering their license because, they have sold their assets and franchise to Progressive Tractor Company. So Progressive Tractor is taking over the Polaris line and Stuttgart. So that's why various surrendered. The only product we licensed for was Polaris. They no longer put us. But otherwise, that's pretty straightforward. If anybody has a question about it before we approve, let me know. We don't have any conflict with Michael or anybody this time, so they should be able to do the batch.
Okay. Y'all wanna look through it, or y'all look through it? Have any questions before we make a motion on this? Advertising promotion to approve the surrender agreement license with.
So moved. Second, Michael Johnson.
Moved and seconded that we approve the surrender agreement, license surrender agreement with the consider all those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Update on the rule.
Yes, ma'am. So. On Monday of this week, I had to go for, the ALC, rules subcommittee. They were approving a bunch of rules over there on Monday. We were number 18 out of 24 or something. But our rule 4 amendment, which you guys approved a while back, we've already been through the public comment and everything. So that has made it through the rule subcommittee. Again, that's the one that is, adding on the requirements to go for the LSV and ATV dealers that are doing on-site service provider, adding those requirements to have a written agreement with that service provider, which is efficient, all that information. So you guys approved that. The subcommittee approved it, no problem, didn't ask any questions. That goes to ALC this Friday, legislative council. And once they approve it on Friday, which I'm sure they will since it's made it to the subcommittee, then 10 days after that, it will be final. So that one is well on its way to being final approved, and then we'll be able to actually use that with these ATV and LSV dealers that are wanting to have off-site service providers. We'll be able to implement that, and we'll be able to implement that almost immediately. And then, of course, renewal time, everybody will be required to submit that information for the same thing. So, and then rule 5, that will be on next month's rule subcommittee agenda. That is the amendment for the e-bikes that we're adding to exclude the class 1 and class 2 e-bikes. The big retailers wanted in there, so, and I don't anticipate any issue with that, just adding one little sentence to the rule 5 exemptions. And that will be next month, so after that rules committee until next month, that will be approved, and then 10 days after that, that will be final. So we're almost there done with the rule promulgation process on those 2 amendments that you guys have already approved, and that's the update on that. So I'll have to go back and set for a rule committee.
I have a question about the e-bikes.
Yes.
I've noticed, I ride one, and I've noticed there are certain parts of even Arkansas that are limiting the type of e-bike that can be ridden on certain trails. Now, when we are doing this e-bike thing and excluding, is that all e-bikes or?
So it's specifically the class 1 and class 2. The class 1 is the one that doesn't necessarily have a throttle and only goes up to 20 miles per hour. Class 2 are the ones that do have a throttle and go up to 20 miles per hour. Okay. Class 3, which we're not exempting, are the ones that go higher. You know, they're faster and powerful.
They're like 7. I noticed 750, whatever, 9680. Yeah, so it's, but if you got one that's 750 or greater, whatever that's like, it's not amps, but I don't know what it is, wattage or something. Anyway, they're excluded from being ridden on, for instance, the Razorback Freeway trail.
Really?
Yeah.
The city ordinance.
I don't know. They've got signs up there. And if you got an e-bike that's 750 or more, you're supposed to be included.
It's got to be a city account.
I think
It's probably a city.
that's.
They probably.
I look down, mine has the thing written on it, I look down, oh, okay, here it goes. But I had no idea, you know, that they could exclude, and it may be this, like you say, class 3 or above is the 750 watt bikes, bigger batteries.
Yes, sir.
On that rule, are you guys tweaking the other provisions?
No, Greg, on the Rule 5 amendment, all we did was add a section in the Rule 5 to the exempt, what we're defining as special vehicles. And it's specific to class 1 and class 2 bikes. That's it. Because we didn't want to mess with any of the other sections, definitions.
The only thing I was curious on, because that rule references 16 miles per hour, and the 20 mile per hour threshold. I was concerned it might cause you some trouble.
No, that's why we just added it to say just these 2, class 1, class 2, that to specifically exempt bikes. Everything else. It's not, we were trying to clearly define that in the rules, so that that's not an issue, like, or what you're talking about.
I actually have no recollection of why that speed limit was set at 16. So
Yeah,
there's
I don't know.
I don't
That's a
know.
long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Yeah, it was before I started in 05, so.
But I understand what you're asking about. The other two wheel stuff, yeah, we're still.
Yeah, I'm actually,
Electric motorcycles.
That's probably
It's
how,
only e-bikes, that is all it is, it's e-bikes, that's it, very specific.
is there an electric motorcycle that would fall under that? I don't want to clear it. Apologies. That was curious. I was just curious. That's a tricky one.
I'm sure, and I will get an interesting question at some point, but
Yeah,
you will.
for sure, okay. All right. Great.
Great program, as I mentioned earlier, the 250,000 you saw in the revenue report, that is for the grants. We got those warrants, we got those sent out earlier this week, like Smarty, certified mail and all those. Parties should be following up this afternoon and tomorrow with all those people to let them know, hey, this is on its way, please have your accounting people be on the lookout for this money, and please get it deposited as soon as possible, so that all our ledger for the end of this week. So, but all that has been sent out. We sent letters to everybody, including the people that did not get the grant. We did again. We got approved $250,000 total funding to 12 different programs. And I think a lot of those are people that obviously in need of that and very worthy. So it's a great thing. We got some new people this year too that haven't gotten money. So. And yes.
Somebody said in my letter, and I mean, a little something in fact, that you might never read. On our side.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that is good. I mean, people need to know that. Good publicity and positive. Okay. You know, that's way more than what we start with, maybe 100,000, maybe more even that, so we're very glad to have that.
That concludes the meeting part of the instructions.
Madam Chair, I should have asked this question earlier, but, in terms of, when we talked about consumer complaints, we only talked about advertising. I'm interested in knowing what's going on with the Tesla.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was kind of wondering about that, but I just kept thinking, that's.
Later speaker. So.
The complainer is going to remain quiet on this matter.
Okay, so it's just,
Aaron and I can speak that.
okay,
Aaron, do you want to give a brief update where we're at?
Sure. Complaint was sent to Tesla, who filed a response. That response was sent to the complaint, to reply. Due date was last week.
We gave an extension. They are going to apply, Mr. Hawkins, who is AADA's attorney, has health issues. We gave an extension, so they are going to provide a substitute.
So we're waiting on that.
well, I noticed there were only 5 new Teslas in front of that.
Oh,
Yes, there were last
Last
month,
time
I go out there when I come to Little Rock, there were, this time there were all 5 trucks and pretty far. Well, I just, when I see it,
that's where we're at, and it will eventually come back around. I'm sure.
thanks.
Thank you. Like, you almost said something, but I just get on. Thank you. All right. Over to the. Okay, then.
Do you start the hearing or do you just wait?
Well, wait, you on it right?
Everybody good?
Everyone on it right?
Right.
We usually all right. Get up. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you so much. Okay. And introduce yourself again.
Sure, my name is Heidi Massey. I work with the Arkansas Department of Labor and Licensing. I'm acting as your hearing officer today. I act as hearing officer at multiple working commissions for the agency. So I am happy to be here today to do this hearing. So I'll go ahead and get started. We are meeting in the matter of the Arkansas Motor Vehicle Commission for Superior RV Sales and Service. This is complaint number H 26-030. Today's date is June 17, 2026. Is the respondent present? I do not see anyone from Superior RV Sales and Service in the room. Okay, and has the hall been checked for anyone? Please check the hall.
Back to the, she speak first.
No, I know what you need.
No, you're right. We need to do that.
We always take some late when I'm here. So. No, ma'am. No, ma'am? Okay. All right. So for the record, the hall has been called and there is no one present in the boardroom. There's no one present in the building representing Superior RV Sales and Service. Will the counsel for the board please identify themselves?
My name is Aaron Lowry, attorney with the Attorney General's Office, and I represent the commission.
Okay, you're ready to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, I'll give a brief explanation of the proceedings for those who have never attended an administrative hearing before. The board will base its decision solely on the evidence presented today. This hearing is being held under the provisions of the Arkansas Administrative Procedures Act, which means that strict rules of evidence do not apply, and the parties will be given latitude in presenting evidence. This is to promote a fair hearing and to provide the board with adequate information with which to make a decision. The administrative adjudicatory process should be much more expedient and less expensive for all parties than a judicial proceeding. The hearing should be less formal, but still consistent with the fundamentals of fairness, impartiality, and thoroughness. My goal is to develop a fair and accurate record that can be reviewed. I will grant objections or caution parties only if necessary. And then the evidence that either party wishes to present to the board must be offered as an exhibit prior to the conclusion of the hearing. All participants should be aware that these proceedings are subject to the Arkansas Freedom of Information Act, and as such, all parts of this hearing will be open to the public, including the board's deliberation. What we're going to do next is swear in the witnesses.
2 weeks.
The 2 witnesses, okay, so those witnesses report, do you have normally the court reporter swearing in, or do you want me to swear in? It doesn't matter. Okay, so if you're going to be testifying today, you just raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, thank you. All right, are there any preliminary matters that you'd like to address before we get started here?
Yes, ma'am. I do have an exhibit packet, has 17 exhibits, one packet that I would like to enter into the record and publish to the board.
Okay, those will be accepted. We're gonna pass those out to the board members at this time. Would you like time for the board to review those, or would you? Through the hearing?
Yes, I'm going to do both. It's fine.
Whatever you want to do. The ones on the board members to review those, I'll give them to review them, and then once the board has it chance to review those, you let me know when you're ready to proceed and we'll move forward.
Yeah. It was, not good.
Are y'all ready to proceed then? Okay, all right, Mr. Lowry, I'm going to turn it over to you to continue the case.
I would like to call my first witness as Mr. Pace, would you please state your name and your position with the commission?
Daniel Pace, Director of the Arkansas Motor Commission.
And will you turn to exhibit number 1?
Okay.
And once you get that unit done.
This would be the notice of hearing that was sent to Superior RV Sales Service.
Okay, and can you turn to page 6 and 7 of that exhibit?
Yeah.
And is that your signature on both of those pages?
That is my signature, sir.
You served this document on, Mr. Chris Block, is that correct?
That is correct.
And how did you do that? What method did you use?
Certified mail, regular mail, and also email.
Okay, and with the certified mail, did you receive a response?
We did not receive the response to the survey.
Okay, obviously you wouldn't receive a response to the regular mail. Did you receive a response to the email?
We did. Mr. Chris Block responded to my email directly with the attached notice of hearing and letter and confirmed that he received notice.
Okay, would you please turn to page number 10? The document in the exhibit packet, and you identify that document.
Page 10 is going to be the email that I sent directly to Chris Block's iCloud.
Okay. And then how about page 11? Can you identify that document?
Page 11 is the email response I received from Chris Block to the notice of hearing, wherein he said received notice.
Okay. And the email that you sent it to, had you previously been in contact with Mr. Block at that email address?
Yes, our staff is in contact with him at iCloud.
I'll pass the witness to Commissioners if they have any questions.
Commissioner, do you have any questions for Mr. Pace at this time?
No further case. I'd like to call my second witness which would be John Aquilino. Would you please state your name and position with the commission?
Yes, John Aquilino, investigator for Arkansas Motor Vehicle.
And as part of your duties as an investigator for the commission, do you perform investigations when a complaint is received by the commission?
Yes.
And has the commission received a complaint on Superior RV?
Yes.
And was an investigation conducted in this?
Yes.
Has the commission previously granted a license to Superior RV?
Yes.
And do you know what type of license it is?
Yes, sir. It is an RV/commercial truck license, license number F1480.
Okay. And do you know if that license is current?
It is currently expired.
All right. Let's go to exhibit number 2. You turn to that for me. And if you could take a look at that and identify that.
This was a formal complaint received by the commission from Mr. Tony Reynolds regarding purchase of an RV at Superior RV Sales and Service. He took a previously purchased RV, traded it in on the new one. Mr. Block did not pay off that trade.
And on page number 2, down at the bottom, Mr. Reynolds has signed it. Can you tell the commissioners what date he signed this complaint?
Yes, he signed it on February 6th, 2022.
Okay. And let's go to exhibit number 3. And can you identify that document?
This is a buyer's order / invoice for Mr. Reynolds as the customer. And Superior RV Sales and Service as the.
Okay. And up in the top right underneath the reference number that's been redacted, can you tell me what date was this buyer's order?
August the 22nd of 2024.
And you already said this, but tell me in that first box, who's the customer that's listed?
Mr. Tony Reynolds.
Okay, and that's the complainant in this matter, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And who's the seller?
Seller is Superior RV Sales and Service.
All right. And under the description of purchase box, do you see that box there? It's the second one on the page.
Yes,
What type of vehicle was being purchased?
purchased a 2024 Dutchman Kodiak 265 RV.
All right. And if you go further down on that left-hand column, there is a box that's labeled trade info. Do you see that box there?
Yes,
And what type of vehicle did Mr. Reynolds trade in on the Dutchman?
he traded in a 2021 Gulfstream Maryland.
And if you look in that box, do you see an entry under a payoff section?
Yes,
And what is the payoff that was due on that Gulfstream?
$14,935.
And down at the very bottom, who's identified as the lien holder of the Gulfstream?
United Federal Credit.
Move over to the left-hand side, there's a box that's titled, selling price summary. You see that?
Yes,
And up at the very top, tell us what is the sales price that's listed for the RV?
$37,999.
And is there an entry for the trade payoff there?
There's an entry for a trade allowance, $17,000.
Okay, and then go further down there, right above the total amount due, you see the trade payoff,
Yes,
and how much is that?
$14,935.
And that matches the information there on the trade info box.
Correct.
All right. On the loan information box, the box is titled loan information. What is the name of the finance company that's being used?
Source One, Source One Financial Service.
Did Superior RV pay off the lien holder shortly after completing this sale in August of 2024?
No,
Please turn to exhibit number 4. And can you identify those documents?
this is a member statement from United Federal Credit to Mr. Tony Reynolds.
All right. And how many member statements are there in this exhibit?
2.
All right. Can you tell us the date of the first one, which is on page 1 of exhibit number 4?
The statement date is 1/1/25 to 1/31/25.
Okay. And does the statement show the balance that's due on the Gulfstream loan?
Yes, the balance that's shown was $14,542.07.
And that's on page 2, is that correct? Under the account balance.
Yes,
Then we have you turn back to page 1. And down at the bottom, can you tell me, was the credit union assessing any late fees on this loan?
yes,
And how much was the late fee that was charged to Mr. Reynolds?
$25.
Let's go over to page 3 of the same exhibit. And can you tell me what is the date on this member statement?
This is 12/1/25 to 12/31.
Approximately 12 months later. And can you tell me what is the account balance that's still due on this loan?
$9,907.85.
And you see that on page 4, is that correct? Back.
Yes,
And then let me go back to page 3 where we were previously. Is Mr. Reynolds also being charged late fees on this?
yes,
And it's the same amount as it was in January?
yes, $25.
Let's go to exhibit number 5. And can you identify this document for the commission?
This is a lien release letter to Mr. Tony Reynolds from United Federal Credit.
Okay. And in the letter, what date does United Federal Credit Union claim that the Gulfstream loan was paid off?
February 10th, 2026.
Now, if the RV was purchased back in August of 24, and it's being paid off in February of 26, approximately how many months it took for the for Superior RV to pay off this loan?
Approximately 18.
I got the second, fast bills, 18 months to pay this off. As of the date of this lien release letter, had a representative from Superior RV responded to this complaint?
No,
Please turn to exhibit number 6. And can you identify this document?
This is a letter from Mr. Chris Block to the commission. This was his response on March 4th, 2026.
Okay. And can you summarize his response?
Basically, he's saying that on February the 9th, 2026, he paid off a loan, Mr. Reynolds, RV, and he basically said that this oversight was from previous office and sales staff, which has been corrected.
Okay, so he doesn't explain why it took the 18 months to pay off.
No, there's no explanation in this letter.
Did he ever provide an explanation to you, or one of the other investigators as to why it took so long to pay this off? Let's go then to exhibit number 7. Can you identify exhibit 7?
Yes, this is a formal complaint form that was received from Gloria Todd.
And if you go to page 2 of that exhibit, can you tell me what date that it was filed, signed, and date the complaint?
She dated this on January the 29th of 2026.
And can you summarize Ms. Todd's complaint?
Yes, she purchased an RV from Superior Sales and Service in Conway on July 26th. She traded in a Flagstaff for a Kodiak, put $7,000 down. And to this day, that loan is not paid off. Failed to trade.
And does she indicate when she purchased the trailer from Superior RV?
Yes, on the 26th of July, 2025.
Okay. So as of January 29th, Ms. Todd claims that the camper had not been paid off. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Please turn to exhibit number 8. Identify that for the commission.
Okay, this is the buyer's order and invoice from Superior RV Sales and Service to Ms. Gloria Todd and Mr. Brian Todd.
And up in the top right-hand corner, it's kind of hard to read, but can you tell me the date that's listed on that buyer's order?
Yes, sir, it's 7/24 of 2025.
And under the description of purchase box there, again, it's kind of hard to read because of the angle of the copy, but can you tell me what type of vehicle was being purchased?
Yes, a 2024 Dutchman Kodiak 201 QB.
And under the trade info box, which is right there on the same right-hand side at the bottom, what type of vehicle did Ms. Todd trade in on the Dutchman?
A 2022 Forest River Flagstaff.
And does it list a payoff amount that Superior is going to pay?
Payoff amount was $18,900.
Okay. And who's the lien holder?
Huntington Bank.
If you go over to the left-hand side, there's the box that says selling price summary. Up at the top, then you tell the commissioners what the sale price for the RV is.
Looks like $34,000.
Okay. And it's like, see, 24,000.
20, I'm sorry, yeah, it's not clear.
That's right, it's hard to see just because of the angle there. But $24,000 is the sales price. And then down towards the bottom of that box, you see the trade payoff amount.
Yes,
And how much is that?
$18,900.
Same as found in the trade info section.
Correct.
And then lastly, on the next box there, titled loan information, what is the name of the finance company?
Source One Financial Services.
So that's the same finance company that's listed on Mr. Reynolds' buyer or buyer.
Correct. Yes.
Please turn to exhibit number 9. And can you identify this document?
This is an arrest affidavit for Faulkner County for Mr. Chris Block.
Okay. And can you turn to page number 4 of this exhibit?
Okay.
Can you tell me who filled out this affidavit?
It appears that it was filled out by investigator Matthew Hugan of the Conway Police Department.
And do you know how the investigator Matthew Hugan is involved in this matter?
Yes, sir, he was the criminal investigator assigned to this case.
Okay. And what date was this note there at the bottom of page 4?
Yeah, the 13th day of March 2026.
Let's go back to page 2, I believe, of this affidavit. The paragraph starts at the very bottom paragraph. Then it continues on the top of page 3. Would you please read this paragraph for the commission?
Sure. Says I made contact with Gloria and Brian Todd. They made the following statement about the incident. They bought a camper from Superior RV and went to trade in for a new camper in July of 2025. It was understood that Superior RV was going to pay off the rest of the loan on the old camper. A couple months went by and Gloria and Brian started to worry about getting the new camper tagged because they did not have the proper information. While waiting on the owner of Superior RV, Christopher Block, Gloria and Brian was still making payments on the camper that they traded in. October 2025, they were able to get the license plate for the new camper, Block reimbursed them for payments they made on the old camper. They have stopped paying the payments on the old camper. Gloria and Brian have called weekly about getting the old camper paid off, and Block insists that he take care of it following Monday. Call Block about the loan, stop answering their calls.
And do you know where the investigator got this information that he included in the affidavit?
These were from my understanding, from police reports that were made by
About the Todds.
Todd.
Yes, sir. Please turn to exhibit number 10. Can you identify the 3 pages of exhibit 10?
Okay, the first page is an email from Investigator Sexton to Aaron Lowry concerning credit information from this Todd.
And if you turn to page number 2, can you identify that document?
This appears to be a credit report that was run on the 24th day of July 2025 by Superior RV.
Okay, and that's around the same time that the Todds purchased this RV from Superior, is that correct? Okay, and what is the credit score there in that top box?
825.
And then on page 3, another set of scores. Do you know who submitted those scores?
It's my understanding that this Todd submitted these to Investigator Sexton.
That was at Investigator Sexton's request, is that right?
Correct.
And what was her credit scores at that time?
TransUnion credit score was 664 and Equifax was 687.
And when Ms. Todd explained this to the investigators, what did she account for the drop in her credit score?
The fact that Mr. Block had not paid off her trading.
And then please turn to exhibit number 11. And identify that document.
This was a response that the commission received from Mr. Block concerning Ms. Todd's loan.
Okay, and what is the date of the response?
This is March 4th of 2026.
Several months after the purchase and after the complaint was filed.
Correct.
This is the response. And the nearly 7 months since the purchase of the Dutchman had been made from Superior RV, had Superior paid off the lien on the Dutchman?
Yeah.
And in this response, does Mr. Block, who's a representative of Superior RV, provide any reason why the lien had not been paid off?
None.
Let's go then to exhibit number 12. Can you identify this exhibit for the commissioners?
Yes, this is an email that was received. The commission, the commission received from Mr. Levi Kennel, who is the owner of Dalton RV in Plumberville.
And when was the email sent?
This was sent on March the 20th, 2026, 11:18 a.m.
And can you summarize Mr. Kennel's?
Mr. Kennel was able to purchase tried to purchase one of the remaining campers that was in Mr. Block's inventory. He summarizes it that he was able to purchase this, for the amount of $38,900. And, it was a 2025 Dutchman Astoria 3173 RLP. They had purchased this, was repurchased by Dutchman in October of 2025. They turned around, they sold it to Dalton RV, Mr. Kent. Kennel went to Superior RV to claim this camper and could not locate it.
Okay. And I'll just ask you a few clarifying questions there. You said that, Mr. Kennel purchased it from Block's inventory, but Mr. Block and Superior RV didn't actually own this RV.
No, it was owned by Dutchman.
Okay, because they had repurchased it from Mr. Block, is that correct?
Dutchman repurchased it at the behest of Mr. Block's floor plan company. And they turned around and sold it to Mr. Kent.
And when you say they,
Dutchman.
sold it to Mr. Kent. Right. Okay, thank you very much. So when Mr. Dalton went to pick up the RV from Superior RV where the RV was he able to get it?
No.
And why was that?
According to his email that Chris Block had never seen.
Okay, so he said it wasn't there.
Correct.
Did Mr. Dalton indicate that he had in fact seen it on Superior's lot?
He did not.
Direct you to that last paragraph on page 1. But it's about the middle. Sorry, which was obviously a lie. You see that? The middle of the paragraph. Nine lines down.
Correct, yeah, which was obvious a lie because unknown to him before purchasing the Dutchman. I drove the Superior RV and personally laid eyes on the.
So Mr. Dalton is the I. He went to Superior RV, is that correct?
Correct.
He saw the Dutchman there.
Correct.
But then when he went to pick it up after he had purchased it, it was gone.
Correct.
Please turn your attention to exhibit number 13. Can you identify this exhibit?
This appears to be an invoice from Keystone RV Company to Dalton RV for the purchase of this Astoria 3173 RLP.
Okay, and if you look on the middle of the page there's a couple of columns that list everything that's on there. The second column is titled item name, and the first entry there, can you read what the first item there is?
That is item AA 3173 RLP 25, which is the Astoria 3173 RLP. Okay.
And this is the camper that's the subject of Mr. Dalton's complaint, is that correct?
Correct.
Let's go to exhibit number 14. Let's turn to page number 2 and identify that document.
This is a manufacturer's certificate of origin for a vehicle. Keystone RV Company sold it to Dalton RV on February the 24th of 2026. This is for the Astoria fifth wheel camper.
So according to this document, Dalton RV was the owner of the Astoria fifth wheel camp.
Correct.
And this is the RV that Mr. Kendall was not able to pick up from Superior. Turn to exhibit number 15. and identify this document.
This is an email that the commission received from Ms. Marguerite Andy Schultz. Source One Financial Services.
Okay, and that Source One Financial, that's the same finance company that's listed on the buyer's orders for Mr. Reynolds and Ms. Todd, is that correct?
Correct.
And can you tell me the date this email was sent?
This was sent on March the 20th at 8:27 a.m.
And can you summarize Ms. Schultz's claim?
She sent a spreadsheet with this email where Mr. Block sold gap and extended service contracts to these customers and never paid for the gap of the extended service contracts. And, she sent a spreadsheet to let us know which customers had paid for that and then received, or those orders had been canceled. Non-payment.
And if you'll turn to page number 2. Do you have a color copy? Yes, so it's actually, there's 2 page 2s because this was one document, so actually the second page 2 with the color parts on there. I'm gonna ask you a few questions about the entries that were highlighted by Ms. Schultz. You see about the middle of that spreadsheet where there's a column titled dealer gap.
Yes.
And if you read that very first entry, there's a dollar amount there. What's the dollar?
$999.
Okay, and that's actually the 4th entry. You see that?
Right.
Top one is $8.99. Second one is $9.99. Is that what you're looking at? Okay. And then right next to that $999, can you read the note section?
Says Express RV Auto Gas, not paid and not active.
And with that, who was supposed to pay for the gap coverage?
The purchasers paid for it at the time of the purchase, and it was supposed to be paid by Mr. Block.
And so Mr. Block took the money from the purchasers, but they did not submit it to the gap insurer. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so what was the result of the insurer not being paid?
The gap insurance was inactive.
Okay. And those are highlighted in red. Those entries are highlighted in red. Is that correct?
Correct.
And approximately how many red entries are on this spreadsheet?
16.
Okay. And then there's also some entries that are highlighted in black. I think there's 2 of those. At the middle of the page, there's one, and then down at the bottom, there's one. You see those 2 entries highlighted in black? There's, okay. I meant the dollar amounts are in black, highlighted in black. So let's look at the bottom one. So the second from the bottom, it's highlighted in green, but there's a dollar amount that's bolded. I guess that's what it's saying. You see that?
Yes, $999.
Okay, $999. And then what does the note section say on that?
Gap declined for non-payment.
Okay. So again, according to Ms. Schultz, Superior RV took the payment for the gap insurance and then did not forward it to the insurer, and as a result, it was defunct. Is that
correct
summary? All right. What's the result of leaving these customers without gap insurance after they paid?
If there was a need to file a claim with the insurance company, they wouldn't have been able to file a claim because the insurance was inactive.
Okay. And that would be a problem for the owner. Yeah. Okay, please turn to exhibit number 16 towards the end here. And can you identify this document?
Yes, this is a letter from Gulfstream to, actually, it was addressed to the commission, and it is basically canceling and revoking the authorization of Superior RV Sales and Service as a dealership. Sale of the Maryline Conquest Division Vintage Cruiser, Vista Cruiser, travel trailer manufactured by Gulfstream Coaching Board.
And what's the date on this letter?
This is February 17th, 2026.
And turn to the last exhibit, which is number 17. You identify this guy.
This is a letter sent to the commission by Keystone, stating that, Superior RV is no longer a Keystone authorized dealer. Keystone received a demand from the flooring lender back in October 25, repurchased vehicles, and done so.
And what's the date on this letter?
This is on February the 18th, 2026.
Now, it's having an agreement with a manufacturer, franchise agreement or contract agreement. Is that a requirement for holding a new franchise dealer license in Arkansas?
Yes, it is.
And as of today, the Superior RV has a contract or franchise licensing agreement in effect with any motor vehicle manufacturer or distributor, which you're aware of.
None to the best of my knowledge.
And I will pass this witness to the chiefs.
Any questions, commissioners? The witness? No? Okay, all right. Do you have anything further?
I don't know how to say.
Okay, all right. Well, both sides having an opportunity to present their case, the board will now go off the record and enter into a deliberation. The board will determine its final findings of fact and conclusions of law, and if there's any penalties if applicable. But its off the record deliberations are open to the public under the Arkansas Freedom of Information Act. All parties may remain in observant deliberation. So we are now off the record. Once you have a decision made, we'll go back on the record to state that. Vote.
Usually get a motion to go off record this time.
We're off record.
You never do that.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Now we all.
Motion to go off record.
Did you say you're gonna go off record on understand? All up in the board, especially with this, we've been hearing that for a little call, but.
Are we looking for assessing a monetary amount on this?
What we, on the first, I guess we need, what we feel, we all find this true, probably all the time. I would like to hear that. I'm just, I would have to talk about the full.
Does he currently have a license?
License.
He does have a license.
Yeah,
His fire license, does have that as of January.
So I think we need to think more to just bring that out and normally talk to me, but the consumer that.
But he still has the capability
Yes.
to do it.
At this point, he's paid debt to the people that he's cleared everything up with his customers. Or is there-
It's not.
So the second lady, I think the,
Yes, you
Tom
paid.
said that
He
paid
paid
the
the trade
trade was not paid off. The trade was not paid off
Right.
as of yet,
This Todd's trading, yeah, as of today, still doesn't pay.
but the first one was.
Okay. This for Tony, but they're not the one. Sure.
But we need a motion that we find the sign is true.
So, yeah, when you can say like the F1, 4, I'm saying this correctly, I remember all the counts, but all these numbers are true. And the chart, then we took over to the chart. Am I correct on that?
That's correct. So.
Okay, I want to make sure I was correct about that.
And would that be back once we're back on the record?
One correct on the record, but
You can discuss it now. and decide.
we're in the discussion phase, but. Now. So we would go about this in our vote on the account. Finding there all these counts through, which I think we're, yeah, but I don't know about.
Depends on how board wants to.
Right.
What the board what kind of board makes. You could do all in one motion, one through F 30,
Yeah.
or 31 are all found to be true.
All right, one through 31, all right.
If you wanted to instead, break it down by count, we could do that as well. If you find that any of these are not true, you could say F1 to F30, have been proven through F31.
Right.
However, the board is.
Okay.
So what's the
Yeah.
call record? Second.
When we go back on those. Sure, let's ask them.
What authority do we have to find and or prohibit him from ever having another loss?
So you have the authority to issue fines, or revoke the license based on any of these charges that are listed.
Okay.
You would not be able to prevent him from ever holding.
Okay, but we can revoke, even though licenses is expired, we need, we so choose, we need to revoke.
That's correct. So that he couldn't renew his current expired license.
And he could, if the license is revoked as a free license, yes, he could apply again for another license in the future, but he'd still have to come back to his commission.
It'd be a brand new
It'd
license.
be a brand new license, and he would have to prove a lot of things, obviously, that's it.
So would that be a separate motion?
Yes, sir. So the second motion that the commission would make
It will
would
be
be,
two motions.
if the charges have been proven based on the findings of fact
Yes.
that y'all made. And then the third motion would be sanctions. So 3 total motions, 3 separate motions.
What the, I was gonna say, what range of sanctions do the board have?
You have a wide range, so you could do nothing. You could go all the way up to revoke the license, but a money violation.
So once you, if you do a motion to revoke the license, if sanctions in. Also.
You could fine and then revoke. The chances of receiving that, collecting that fine.
In this situation, we're probably better off to just revoke the license.
But we'd be on the record of trying to find,
That's correct. And you could,
which I think you're right, I think chances of collecting a fine are somewhere we slip in. But
and you could
still
do,
true.
you could do a fine based on each of the counts. If you so chose, so you could do one fine where you could do one fine for count 1, 1 fine for count 2.
So in issuing a, if we ask for a fine, or put it in a part of our staff. I made it,
So we would of course try to collect the fund. In my experience, we probably did not be successful, but I think Aaron would agree that the fine is still gonna follow him for ever. So if he comes back to the commission and wants to apply for another license, the fine is still gonna be set in their way. So there's that.
And that would be, it is public record, and that would be, one of the reasons that the board could deny future license if he hasn't completed all of the orders of the board under his previous license. So we should respect that. There could be.
By revoking this, and the fine is imposed, does that prevent him from getting a business license in the state of Arkansas, or is it just motor vehicle?
It would just be with this commission. It could be a factor if you went for another type of license, but it wouldn't be a ban necessarily.
It's certainly something we would take under.
Brought to another commission,
And that
was a mitigating factor.
That's correct. And that commission would have to be aware of this issue. And this would, all these red flags will come up.
Two things we're deciding on.
Well, actually, we're working through that.
Several of us, this one.
One motion is to approve, the second motion,
If the charges, the 4 charges listed in the notice of hearing were proven based on the facts,
okay, and then the third deals with the revocation of the license and or fine.
the sanctions based on the violation and sanctions, yes, sir.
What we say. Right?
The charges are listed there on
Yeah.
page 5 of the notice of hearing, so you would do the same as you would, see the facts, but
Right.
the facts you support or do not, or don't support, and I see what you're saying.
And I think since I kind of said where Mr. Beheaded here, we might want to explain how that fine would work with this, a little different than what we normally do in terms of what the options are there, probably. If they want to do a fine, if they can't put it aside.
So with fine, you are limited in the amount that you can fine. And so, like for instance, with the last consent agreement, the judge will give $1,000 fine. With this one, because there are different counts and the way that it's drafted, different sets of facts, set of different counts as far as the charges go, you could determine that it was a per violation fine. So if you found that there were 4 violations, you could say $4,000. Found that there was 1 violation, $1,000.
So is it the charges or the fine? So we have 4 possibilities or 31 possibilities?
Well, the 31 possibilities are the facts as the commission finds. And so then you take those facts and apply them to the 4 charges. So the violations would be based on the charges.
So basically, we're going to say $4,000 per charge.
If that's what we decided.
Yes, you could go more than that if you found that multiple of the facts, multiple different facts supported charges. And so if one set of facts you thought was the board found or the commission found was a violation of the statute, and then found another set of facts that would support that, then that would be 2 violations of that. You have to, again, it's listed there on the charge. So you'd have to put it out as that's correct. Why you're finding how you came up with that.
And we're confident that we're pretty all good. We'll go back on record that.
Scott, whatever, we go back on record. Second.
Liz and second that we go back on record. Do I hear, let you know the. Count step 1 for the. 30.
Five. One.
Second.
The moved and second, that we on step 1 with that 31 findings of fact to be true. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then we need to talk about the applicable laws and the board rules, L1 through L6.
Would move that we, establish that all charges occurred should be upheld.
That would be better C1.
Is second.
And they second that all charges in the terms they were before or office in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. We decide what.
I would like a motion that we revoke Superior Army Sales and Services license and fine Superior Army Sales and Services $1,000 for each charge C1, C4.
Moved and seconded that we revoke what Superior One license immediately. You can find him $1,000 for charges in 1, 2, 3, 4. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And I can ask Mr. Lara to reduce the board's decision to writing and forbid on all parties to the final findings of fact conclusion in law order. If the respondent wishes to appeal the decision of the board, the appeal may be taken into the administrative proceeding fact found in Arkansas Code, section 25-15-20. The record is closed and the hearing is adjourned. Thank you.
So we will probably do a recommendation on this for.
The next, remember you guys elected, and with that day now, that was the company, I think people had some, they, so. August 26th, we're still gonna be, but I just saw earlier, no here, that will be pretty good. So just ready to, just let plenty to do that. Yeah, we'll have more. Yeah, make sure.
That's what did y'all know that?
We don't want to be in session.
Monday,
Gotta vote. You gotta vote on adjournment.
moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Got it. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Hey, good. This is